Mob Psycho 100's second opening, 99.9, is in my opinion one of the best ever made. One of the things I like most about it is the many references made to animation history. More than fun Easter eggs, these references hint at the show's focus on stellar animation, which I think is pretty clever. We open in a 3D iteration of a zoetrope. What is conventionally thought of as a zoetrope, finalized in 1866, is a cylindrical drum with slits cut into the sides, which allow only one of many sequenced images printed onto an interchangeable slip of paper inside the drum to be seen at once, creating an illusion of motion. Although they are not technically zoetropes, rotating animation devices, or references to them in text, that date back as far as 5,000 years have been discovered in Iran and China. 3D zoetropes emerged in 1887. It was originally marketed as a children's toy, but this pre-film animation technology was a very important step towards the development of all motion pictures, both animated and live action. While animation technology has obviously come a very long way, zoetropes still hold a lot of interest to artists. Many contemporary artists still work with them, and in the 2000s, Studio Ghibli built a huge Totoro-themed 3D zoetrope like the one seen in the Mob opening for their museum. This second clip depicts a technique from the 1890s called barrier grid animation. Also called picket fence animation and scanimation, this technique creates an optical illusion of motion by passing a grid of alternating opaque and transparent strips over a print of two different images that have been interlaced into one. The grid only allows one of the interlaced images to be seen at a time, and moving the grid essentially flips the two images in quick succession, giving the impression of motion. It's a bit of a stretch to call a kaleidoscope an early animation technology, but I think there is something to that argument. The kaleidoscope, invented in the 1810s, uses mirrors to create morphing moving images, and kaleidoscopic images were included in magic lantern shows. The magic lantern and the presentations made with them are regarded as predecessors to traditional animation and film projection. Finally, this brief shot shows the way the paint needs to be layered on celluloid in traditional cell animation. This technique is not as old as the others, and could still be considered modern, but the use of cell animation has pretty much been abandoned at this point. While the introduction of transparent celluloid sheets for animation in the 1910s revolutionized the medium, using them is both more expensive and more time-consuming than digital techniques. The last anime to be fully cell animated was Saze-san, which aired its final cell animated episode in 2013. With that, cells in anime have become part of its history. But it's important to remember that while cells are not used, most anime is still hand-drawn.